A day after those deadly explosions at the Boston Marathon, we're learning more about that terrible terror attack. Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us for 22 News at Noon. I'm Rich Tatimer. The number of injured is rising after those two explosions at the finish line of the Boston Marathon Monday afternoon. Boston police now say that 3 people were killed and 176 were injured, some of them seriously. At a news conference this morning, Governor Patrick said no unexploded bombs were found along Boylston Street. He says the only explosives were the ones that went off. 3 people were killed, including an 8-year-old boy, by 2 explosions just seconds apart near the finish line. Police Commissioner Ed Davis says that 176 victims came to hospitals around Boston, and 17 of those are in critical condition. The FBI is coordinating the investigation.
This remains a very active investigation. Our ongoing investigation in various locations throughout the area goes on. However, there are no known additional threats. We continue to interview various witnesses and process the crime scene, which could take some time.
Commissioner Davis says the marathon explosion is the most complex crime scene in the history of the department. 22 News reporter Julie McDonald is live in Boston, and she has the latest on how the city and the people there are dealing with the aftermath of the marathon attack.
22 News was here inside the Westin Copley this morning for the latest news conference. State, local, and even national leaders were here today to talk about what happened yesterday and what they know today. We wanted to tell you some of the people that we heard from this morning at that news conference. Mayor Menino was there. We heard from the governor. Senator Elizabeth Warren was there. There were special agents from the FBI and also from the state police, and the Suffolk County District Attorney was there to speak also. We want to give you a look of where we are right now. This is as close as we can get to where those explosions happened yesterday. Boylston Street is on the other side of that white medical tent, and so that is where the finish line is located. And so just, on the other side of that tent is where the crowds were just filling the streets waiting for people to finish up the marathon yesterday when those 2 simultaneous explosions happened. This is still a crime scene. This is as close as we can get. It covers about 12 blocks that are on lockdown by the National Guard and police. That's slightly down. It was 15 blocks that they originally closed off. So they've opened a little bit of the area up, but it looks like for the next few days at least, this will remain an active crime scene as they continue to look for any clues that lead them to anyone that was connected with this. Here's what we know new at noon today. There were only 2 explosive devices found yesterday, and they were the ones involved in those simultaneous explosions just before 3 in the afternoon. There had been rumors swirling yesterday that there were, other explosive devices that were found in trash cans and all these other devices that hadn't exploded yet. That's not true. There were only 2 devices, the ones that were located in these explosions. We did learn that today. The governor confirmed that. Rick Delorier with the FBI said that there are no known additional threats at this time, but he did say that assistance from the public is critical. The FBI wants any photos that people have from that area from around that time, from those 2 explosions that killed 3 people and wounded more than 150. So if you have any photos from that area around that time, the FBI want to see it. They say it might not look suspicious to you, but it could give them a clue that could lead them to someone who was involved. They said that it's helpful if you do send them photos to try to let them know what time the photo was taken, and that will help them as they continue to really just scour through videos and photos sent in from the public. Another thing that we've noticed this morning here today, there are still people walking around the area. There's just thousands of people who were in Boston for the marathon. And one thing that we've noticed is that you can tell who was a participant in the marathon yesterday. They're wearing their neon windbreakers, and those runners who were able to finish the marathon yesterday are proudly wearing their medals that they earned in this event that they really cherish.
No matter the devastation and the loss and the sadness we all feel, there's such a community, and people are so determined not to let somebody's act of violence rob us of this experience, because it's just a cherished event and we won't lose it to this.
Now, there is going to be an interfaith service that will be organized tomorrow. The governor said that as the city begins the healing process after these deadly attacks. There are no more scheduled updates this afternoon, but again, this area behind me is going to remain a crime scene for the next several days as police continue to scour through photos, videos, surveillance that they got from this area to look for any clues to lead them to who was involved. We're live in Boston this noon. Julie McDonald, 22 News.